November's been some shit.
Yeah.
All right, we live.
What's up, man? Welcome to the Gradual Grind. We missed a week, but we're back at it. It's November 14th.
Tell them why we missed a week, Evan.
Hey,
Go ahead.
We missed a week because your boy was down and out.
Boy was dying.
Hey, I thought that Rona got me. No, I was down.
You know, I hit you with that.
Yo, no, for real, I was down bad, but I bounced back, and your boy got engaged this past weekend. Yeah, put a ring on it. So big things happened past week. It's been 2 weeks now, but yeah, sorry missed, but for those of you who don't know, it's Gradual Grind. I'm Evan Anderson. It's Marcel Jonathan. Oh, it's Jonathan Marcel, dude. I don't know. I was telling my girlfriend the other day, like, just because, like, you know, that's how I met you. Like,
Yeah,
I always
people, man.
I always confuse it. But yeah, this is my boy Jonathan.
I'll put the Twitter handles underneath. If we sound a little tired, it's because we are.
Yes.
It's 10 o'clock on a Sunday. It's been a long week.
But we had to come back for you guys because we got to stay true to it. Yeah.
True to this. But you said true to this, not new to this.
Yeah, true to this, not new to this. But yeah, so today the topic of conversation just kind of be all over the place. Like we've both been going through some pretty different personal battles. And as you know, in this show, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the issues that we're going through, our plans to overcome them, and, you know, the mindset of what it takes to become successful at, you know, being young in your 20s. So yeah, today we're just gonna wing it, and hopefully we give you guys some give you guys some good jewels and stuff like that. And so
let's get to it. All right, so first let's go with the weekly update.
Yeah.
So tell me about your week. I know about the engagement, but tell our viewers about the engagement and all that niceness.
So like 2 weeks ago, I got sick. It was like started as like a sore throat, but ended up being like a stomach bug. It was just all bad. Ended up getting, you know, some medicine and stuff like that. I tested negative for the Rona, so don't listen to this man. But yeah, so I ended up feeling a little bit better last weekend, and then I had planned a surprise engagement for my now fiance, also mother of my child. So we went back to Phoenix from Kansas City, and yeah, I just kind of surprised her. I had her friends kidnap her from her hair appointment, brought her to this hotel downtown. We had a dope suite with a crazy view with like,
it was really nice.
It was a corner.
I was jealous.
It was let me paint y'all a picture. It was a corner suite on the 16th floor, bathtub with all glass windows surrounding it. It was pretty dope. So I surprised her, brought her there, had all her stuff waiting for her, told her to get ready. Then we went across the street and we went to this shout out to the 13th floor rooftop bar in downtown Phoenix. We went to the bar on the rooftop, and I surprised her with her family. And then popped the question, and you know, the rest is history. So then just, you know, enjoyed her time, and now I'm back in Kansas City, going back to the grind. I really have been slacking these past 2 weeks, but that's my PTO for the year. But yeah, man.
PTO. Gary V would be pissed at you. What do you mean PTO? Vacations? What?
Yeah,
sick
man.
Time.
Hey, it was much needed. I honestly, this is crazy. But like after I did that, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like I was on top of the world. I felt so motivated, like I could do whatever, just because as a man, you know, I felt like I was making monumental strides in my person, just as a person. You know, I come from a single mother household, so you know, having a strong, stable relationship and a child was just, it felt real good for me, and it's honestly sending me back strong. Like I'm real confident for how I'm about to move forward. So that's how my past couple weeks been. How you been, man?
Well, first of all, man, I just want to say I'm really proud of you, though.
Yeah,
For
thanks, man. I
sure.
appreciate
Like
that.
I remember growing up, and you were that little street dude from Chicago or whatever, in Milwaukee. I don't remember where you're from. Our freshman year, but nah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's all love. You
Yeah,
grown up to be a great man, and I'm proud for you and your fiance and your baby girl.
thanks,
Excited to
man.
see the future.
Really
I
appreciate that.
expect the wedding invite though,
Oh yeah,
and
of course. We lit.
I'm about to be out there fucked up. So nah, my week's been good, man. It's just my past 2 weeks really because we missed a week.
Hmm.
It's just been crazy. I was just telling you earlier before the call. I really have no days off. It's either
Yeah.
I'm at work at my day job, or I'm coaching and running trainings, or just trying to enjoy my day. Some
Hmm.
time
Yeah.
for myself. Uh, and I've had some real big struggles this week, and
Really.
I guess we'll get into them now. But other than that, just trying to figure it out. I've been trying to get back to my routines of meditating and reading and keeping a clear head and
Hmm.
doing the things I want to do. But we'll get into that a little later.
Push. Let's go right into it, man. What's going on? What's going on?
Man, all right. So I hate to bring this up because I feel like I'm being ungrateful, right? Especially
Hmm.
right now with COVID going on and people in a really tough financial spot. I mean, I've been blessed to have some type of income the entire time, right? Whether it
Hmm.
was an internship or, with coaching, I still had things coming in. And
Right.
now I have a full-time job.
Hmm.
It's just difficult to understand that I'm sacrificing basically a third of my day,
Yeah.
right? And maybe more sometimes because I'll stay on late to finish some work or trying to, wrap things up, even though I don't have to, right? I just feel like obligated to finish the work.
Yeah.
Um, and having to feel like I'm on somebody else's time and somebody else's expectations are set on me because I have to have those expectations, right? Like if I don't meet this deadline, like it's me on the chopping block.
Hmm.
And it's difficult to realize like that's what some people's lives are for 40, 50, 60 years. And I just haven't been able to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong with having an office job, man. If that's what you do and you love it, that's great. Some people are comfortable with that. But for me, I have ADHD, right? I can't sit in a chair for 8 hours unless it's something I really, really love to do.
So
So yeah, I
you're
can.
just bogged down by you're just kind of depressed. You see like no future in the office, is what you're saying.
Yeah, man. I don't see myself being creative in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't see a creative outlet to it, and that's what I love to do. Like
Hmm.
I think my future, if I could, is consulting
Hmm.
and being branched off in a bunch of different things and trying a bunch of different things because that's what I love to do.
Right.
I consider myself a polymath, and if for those of you that don't know the definition, a polymath is just someone that has a lot of knowledge in a lot of different areas, right? So not exactly a jack of all trades. It's like someone that can be an expert in separate fields because they took the time to understand each of those fields deeply.
Yo, I was actually this is crazy that this conversation is coming up. Like I told you, bro, God works in weird ways. That was my daughter.
No worries.
Um, like I told you, God works in weird ways because earlier this week, like 2 days ago, no cap, I was thinking about you, bro. And I was thinking about literally what you just said and how you're like you kind of you like to spread yourself, you know? And I was like, not that I like fundamentally disagree with like, what, because I understand that like feeling of like wanting to, you're a very diverse person, but like when I'm thinking of like the best players, in except for in like rare cases, everything I grew up playing ball, so everything kind of in my mind ends up going back to basketball in some way and a lesson that I learned from there. So like I'm thinking about like the best players, right? And I feel like the only exception is like LeBron James, who's like kind of like the jack of all trades kind of dude. But like when you think about the best players, they were usually so good at like one
One
thing.
thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
man.
so like this like really was came to my mind when I was thinking about you 2 days ago, and I was like, I need to talk to him about this and like just see your thoughts because even if you know that maybe if you stuck to one thing and you just derived everything there was in that field, you know what I'm saying, you became the expert in that field and you knew that's how like you would get the monetary success that you want. Would you rather do that or would you rather chase that fulfillment and have less milestones, but in more areas.
Man, knowing my personality and just how I've been since I was a kid,
Hmm.
the monetary sounds great, right?
Hmm.
But I feel like that won't guarantee my happiness.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I see it. It's lifestyle inflation. Once you get used to that lifestyle, you have to keep doing the same thing over and over to keep up with what you're doing,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
Um, and you hear rappers talk about this all the time, right? Like they make a hit and they have to make songs like that just to keep their success going.
Hmm.
I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Some people love their niche, right? Like there's some people that are just focused in on exactly what they're doing and that's what they love.
Hmm.
I have yet to find that for me.
Yeah. I've been in that situation before. I'm still like, I don't know what my niche is, but I'm not so obsessed with finding it as I was before. But I've been in
Yeah,
your
and
situation before. It's like, dang, I wish I loved something. You
as
know?
much as some people love whatever,
Yeah,
right? And I'm not gonna
exactly.
lie, the reason why I really started thinking about this, we started watching this show called The Queen's Gambit, and it's a
Hmm.
great show. It's about a girl who's basically a grandmaster in chess, and she's just like a genius, right?
Hmm.
But her obsession is chess. I'm like, man, if only I could focus that much on one thing, right?
Hmm.
But then I'm like, do I really want to focus that much on one thing? Because when I find myself in those positions, for
Hmm.
example, with work, there are days where all I can think about is like what I have to do and what I'm doing, blah blah blah. And I just look back at my day and I feel like miserable.
Yeah.
Like, oh man,
Well, I mean,
like why am
I
I
feel
just
like it's possible for you to achieve that happiness in doing what you know what I'm saying? But like if you're really like trying to be like the most successful in a field, I feel like
like you
you'd
have
have
to
to
you have to
focus.
focus. But
Yeah.
that I don't think that's my goal. I don't want to be the most successful in the field.
I
I just want to
realized that
be
when I got to just for like an analogy for anybody else who's like a hooper or whatever that might tune into this, like when I got to HBU, bro, I started realizing because that was my first time like really like out of state being with guys from like all over the country type thing
yeah yeah
in
yeah
one gym, especially like when you get like the higher level. There's guys there that like literally can do one thing and one thing only.
yeah.
Like
They're
there's a
they only they're only on the court to shoot the ball. Like that's
Exactly. Like
it.
you're either a sniper, you're like you're jumping out the gym, you know what I'm saying? But then if you have a jack of all trades, that's your best player because it's just like you
Yes.
can count on him. But I'd say it's significantly more rare finding one of those, and I feel like that's just something that you have to work on.
Yeah.
Those
I think for
usually guys who
me,
go the
like,
furthest.
yeah, for me, I think I realized quickly at
Hmm.
a young age that I just didn't want to be that expert in one field
Hmm.
because the days I'm happiest are the days I get to think creatively on a complex subject, no matter what it is.
Hmm.
So I love having conversations about helping a friend start a business,
Hmm.
even if it's a business I've never heard of, because I'm
Hmm.
thinking about things that I'm trying to create ties to other industries and other fields. And it's my biggest enjoyment in life is
Hmm.
finding relationships among really complex things. And I think that's where my interest in physics comes in. And it's not because I'm great at math
Hmm.
or I just understand, the grand scheme of this and that,
Hmm.
but it's seeing the relations in, this quantum concept into, the existence of this matter. Like
Well,
it's so interesting to
like if
me.
I'm just looking at you from like a third person view, I'd say your day like your day is pretty diverse from what it sounds like. You work and then you have you run a basketball program and you do this podcast and you have all these business ideas. You have a girlfriend who's also kind of like-minded and driven as well. So like you have a lot going on,
For
right?
sure.
So, like, where's the drop off is what I'm asking. You know what I'm saying? Because it sounds
Yeah.
like you do have that, you know, you
I think
do have that
it's just
diversity.
it is very diverse.
Is it because it's like demanded that you have to spend that 8 hours?
Yes, because I'm trading time for money in things that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, basketball's great. It
Mhm.
was a great pastime for me. I enjoyed it playing it. I enjoy coaching these kids. But I found myself like, okay, to make this amount of money for this year to do this, I have to take this amount of training sessions,
Right.
right? For my job, it's not that I'm on to get the work done, right? It's I'm on for 8 hours and I get whatever I can done in that 8 hours.
Mhm.
right? Like it's for me, it's a weird concept.
Yeah, I feel you. I
And
feel you.
then in the end, right? Like I enjoy doing this podcast. There's no problem with it.
Hmm.
Like it's 10 o'clock and I'm perfectly fine. I can do this for 3 hours,
Yeah,
right? This is something I want to do, even if it's not making me money.
exactly.
But like when I'm logging in, right? I'm logging in 8 hours a week, 8 hours a day for 5 days a week, and I'm doing that every week.
Yeah,
And it's like, and to see the progression of me in that career is going to be slow,
yeah,
right? I might get a boost up in the next year or so, but to what? Maybe the 10% increase.
yeah, man.
Meanwhile, if I'm doing something like this and this pops off, it could be a limitless, a limitless opportunity, and I could explore so many other realms doing this. So
I
it's
really,
hard to.
I know I've been talking about this for a couple weeks, but I'm about to get my guy on here, my cousin. Um, I'm gonna ask him because I feel like he'll give us both the motivation, or at least the perspective of someone who deals with entrepreneurs a lot, and can kind of see where people get stuck at the most. So
Yeah.
hopefully within this next episode or two, we get that going. But yeah, man, I feel you. I've been there. I feel like most of us have been there.
Some of us are still there. Some of
Yeah,
us will get there.
right. It's a point that I feel like everyone hits. I think the thing to keep keep in mind is you're 23. Like you're young. You're so young,
So young. Yeah.
and like a lot of people, like they go through the. You see people like go through the motion till they're like 30, and then something hits them, and it's like bam.
I will say that's one of the comforts I find. That I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm
Mhm.
happy in my life.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
happy with what I'm doing. I'm grateful for what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm just
but you're a
saying
striver.
in a higher thought,
Mhm,
right? This is what I'm thinking. These are actual struggles I'm dealing with.
mhm,
But I'm happy. I'm good where I'm at, making what I need to make.
mhm.
It's not like I'm struggling. I'm not like hungry.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, um, that's something I'm dealing with. But the thing that makes me feel comfortable is that, right? That I'm young and that I'm learning a lot.
Mhm.
How many people can really say, right? They're working from home while running an AAU program, while trying to podcast, while learning this,
Yeah.
and
Right.
like my life has been very interesting, and that's the thing. I have and as we speak, I can touch on so many different subjects
Mhm.
just from what I've learned,
Yeah.
and I've only really been focusing on this for a few years,
Right.
right? So I will say that is something that's really
Yeah,
helpful.
man. It's early. We putting in the work. But I'm glad you like brought up like that because when I was sick about 2 weeks ago, like I was out, man, and like I'm the provider for my family, and like not that I wasn't like terrified, but there was a little part of me that was scared, like what if something was like actually seriously wrong with me? Like who's gonna put up, for the family? And so um I became very thankful. I feel like I don't know what was wrong with me, but whatever it did got me to the point where I was like, damn, I'm thankful for my health, like it was very humbling. And it be, being able to work became like what do they call it? It was like it was, I don't want to say it was like it wasn't an honor to work, but it was like it was I don't know what the word, I can't think of it.
Like being able to
What are
work was like just a blessing. Like you're
No,
grateful.
not a blessing, but like it's a privilege. That's what it was.
Oh yeah,
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 it
yeah.
was
Okay.
it's a privilege to be able to work. Like it really humbled me to the point where I was like, I'm thankful that I can do this for my family. And so I mean, like just that you brought that up, like that's kind of where I started at last week. And then moving forward this week, like getting engaged, I told you, um, it made me feel really good on a personal level. And then, I'd started kind of making other moves in my personal life. And it's kind of like when you start striving, like you start to hear people like trying to tell you what their idea of, what you
Yeah,
should be
man.
is. And that stuff kind of it's been just not riding with me because I feel like how can somebody who isn't living the life that I want to live tell me how I should live my life?
Yeah, man. Isn't there's a quote like that that's like, don't let someone making a $40,000 salary kill your $1 million dream or something
Right.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And like also at the same time, it's like I'm trying to I'm trying to be different, but I'm trying to follow a path that people have taken. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
You're
you're
not
trying to
trying to
be
like be innovative and break
e-
new grounds, right?
exactly, exactly. So it's like I don't know. I just felt like um, if I'm putting in my work, and you see someone putting in work, could give them like their congratulations. Give that respect when it's due, and it's just something that's been happening. It's not the first time that it's happened in my life, um, but you kind of see that, and I think that it's important to realize like who certain people are in your life, as far as like you may have. I've seen people's family, uh, like when it comes to like hoping and going to school, like be the reason they don't end up being successful.
Yeah, man.
So it's just like you gotta, even though you might love some people, you gotta just take take that perspective with a grain of salt and see, where your plan is to be at, because there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise that can distract you, and you just gotta stay focused.
Yeah, man. I think I actually read a chapter today in this book I'm reading
Mhm,
about that, and it's like how everyone has their own incentives,
mhm,
right? They
yeah,
all have their own idea of what an end goal is.
mhm,
And so it's always hard to take advice from people
mhm,
when their life story isn't exactly yours. And
mhm,
that's everybody, right? No
yeah.
one's life story is exactly
Yeah,
yours.
like when you see
Eh,
like Grant Cardone and he says like, "Oh, I wouldn't buy anything less than 36 units." It's like, damn, 36 units, that's like $5 million.
but that's his
Yeah,
life, right? That's
exactly.
his
Coming
story
from
right now. It's
some
not yours.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just resonating with you. You go back to what you were saying.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, it's like, for example, this is something I struggle with a lot.
Mhm,
Especially because I'm not trying to break new paths,
mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to follow paths that have already been successful,
Mhm.
right? Path of least resistance. But
Yeah.
for my family, I basically am.
Mhm.
I want a route that no one in my family, immediate family that I know of went,
Mhm.
right? I studied a hard science, right? In physics. I started a basketball program. I started a business young,
Mhm.
right? I work in software. No one in my family is working in software. I think differently, right? So it's difficult for me to talk to people that are in my family or even old friends and hear what they're trying to say because we're not having the same discussions.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about the same thing I'm thinking of.
Mhm.
And, for example, I said it before, my dad has ideas of what I should be doing and what's important and blah,
Mhm.
blah. And I have my own
Well, I
opinions,
think that's a
right?
challenge in life. Like, even though like mine and your life may be parallel, like we're each going through something that I feel like neither of us can tell. I can tell you what the right decision is. Like
Neither could I.
something
Yeah.
that may work for me isn't going to necessarily work for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. This is like picking who you choose your advice from is just so vital, and it's such a tough thing to do. You know?
hmm especially when it's people you're like you've been conditioned to believe
Mhm.
are like trustworthy.
Mhm.
This was in the chapter too, which is funny. It's like we tend to look at people that are paid well, and
Yeah.
we're like, oh, I got to listen to him because he knows.
Right,
But
right,
sometimes dude just got lucky and got paid well,
right.
right? So
Exactly.
it's like you really have to form your own knowledge
Mhm.
and be able to take that advice, like you said, with a grain of salt
Mhm.
and decide what's best for you. And if you mess up, that's your way of learning. And if it don't mess up, it works. You win either way.
Yeah. I mean, I agree exactly with what you said. Um, because like again, I'm not from like, this corporate background or whatever. So like when I hear like my coworkers or whatever, they're talking about investing and doing this and doing that, I'm like, I'm like, oh, I want to do that. Like maybe I should like hit them up and see what they do. But then at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if the way they're doing it will work for me because we're so different. you
Or they're
know?
gonna tell you the truth of what they did.
Right, exactly. Like they may have came up off of somebody else and then just tried to
Man,
own it as their own, you know?
I've heard that and and this is something I've learned the hard way, man. People are a lot more competitive than you think they are.
Yeah.
Like people might seem
Or they
very
wanted to
like,
like have a perception.
yeah,
Yeah.
like they might seem all woke and friendly, and I'm just trying to help people,
Mhm.
right? But in reality, like I hear a lot of these stories, and it's like they're not really putting you on because I know a little bit more about their past, right? In
Mhm.
my specific cases,
Yeah.
like they had a loan from their family for like 40 grand,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah, sure, he came from the trenches, but he had someone to learn from.
Mhm.
Like even my story, right? Like I don't realize it, but my dad started his own business, right?
Mhm.
Like I had somewhere to learn from. So I can't tell you I just, came from the trenches because I really didn't. There was
Man,
some things I took from my past.
forgive us because like I said today we're winging it, but like what you just said right there, that was also something that had come up this past week. Um like you said you didn't even know it, but your dad had started a business. Like I feel like I'm a pretty smart person, got my bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. If you ask me how do you start a business, I literally feel like I don't know. I have no
And fun
idea. And that, you know why it is because nobody in my life has ever done that before. All
and
I
you know
need is
what's
for one person to do it to like prove like, oh, you can do it. I
yeah,
don't
man.
know, like I literally don't know. And I feel like I'm an apt person, like, you know, like I'm capable of achieving tasks that you don't have to exactly tell me what to do.
Man, and it's funny because and it actually even goes further than that. So in my story, my dad started his own business, but in grand scheme of things, it does well, it supports him,
Mhm.
but he has no clue how to expand it, how to grow it, or anything.
Right.
So I get the basics, but then I look at these people that built a, at home company and build it to millions of dollars. Like I have no clue how to even do that. Like
Yeah.
how do you even hire someone to do your taxes? Like what does a good tax accountant look like, right? Like it's yeah, man. I feel it, and
You
it's
know
just
what I'm
like,
saying? Like and so the day after I proposed or whatever, I got a call from my aunt and
uh,
she was just like, because then I had told her like, yeah, I'm also looking at you know, getting a house. And she was like, uh, you know, so I'm about to get a little spiritual. She was like, well, you doing good things, right? And you pissing off that man. And so you probably gonna have some problems, right? And but what I'm doing is I'm breaking chains, man. Like if I do it, then my friends gonna see that that they can do it. You know, like I once I can do it, I can tell them, look, it's not as hard as we thought. You know, like this all you have to do. I can lay it out in 3 steps. Boom, boom, boom. And now they feel like, oh, snap, he did that. I can do it too. And I feel like that is an analogy that fits me in a different way as far as like, you know, starting a business or, you know, creating that side hustle that we're grinding for, you know?
sure.
And so like I just feel like that experience is so invaluable, but I don't want somebody to say like this is what you have to do. You know, like
It might not work for
your
them.
dad wasn't like this is how you start a business. He was just like this is a business.
That we did it. Like we just did
Exactly.
it. That's literally, and it's funny because I talked to all these different clients of mine, all these people I know that
Mhm.
started a business, and they're just like, "Oh, we just did it and it worked." Like,
Yeah, bro. But
great.
this is the thing, like, like you hear that on podcasts too. Like, I know that you can. It's relatively easy to start a business, right?
hmm
But like you
Yeah,
hear
you
a
just open an
podcast where
LLC and that's
they
a
were
business.
like, they're like, oh, I didn't even do that till like 6 months in and stuff like that. I'm like, it it, it makes sense that like you just do and like money comes in and then it just comes in over time. But I feel like I just don't feel comfortable starting like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man. I think it's something I've noticed in myself too. I think we're too aware of the issues. We
Yeah.
overthink the issues. We're too aware that this is going to cost money. This could do this. This could do
We're
that.
too
And
academically educated.
yeah, yeah, man. And not even that. We're just intellectually trying to, or just trying to think ahead, right?
Yeah.
We like to try to plan.
Mhm.
and we think about all these scenarios and all these things that are problems and things we need to solve, and we
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's holding us back from starting. But in
Mm-hmm.
the end, if we just took one step, it could have been the next thing,
Yeah.
right? And like we've talked about in previous podcasts, it's like when I was looking for a car, all this research I had done on these
Right.
cars and what's the best car for long term, and in the end,
But at the end
the
of the day,
decision was a day. It took
exactly.
hours to make the decision, right?
Nothing you
Not
did.
even based on any research. I
You're
bought a
right.
car I didn't even heard of.
Nothing you did for the previous 2 months went into your head on the day you went to that
Nothing,
car dealership and bought that car. It like you
nothing,
literally
bro.
just had to go out and do. Oh man, that's I feel like that's the most fire analogy ever because I'm sitting here literally looking at cars that I'm about to buy in February, and I know the only thing that's gonna matter is the date of.
Yeah, you're gonna hop in. You're looking at Mazda, this or that, and then all of a sudden you hype in a Chrysler, which happened to me, and you're just like, "Oh, this the one." Like it had nothing to do with anything I looked up.
Man, man, you preaching to the choir right now, man.
It's so funny. It's like, man, it's and it happened in so many different scenarios in my life where I
Mhm,
feel like sometimes maybe it is we just gotta do it, man.
mhm,
Like just take the risk, and I think that's one thing I have to just, especially with this conversation we just had earlier in this podcast, right?
mhm.
I just
And
got
we've
to take
talked
the
about
risk on something.
taking risks before as well.
Yeah, man,
Like,
for
it's
sure.
scary, yeah.
And it's not only in business, right?
Mhm,
Like I need to just take the risk in some of the intellectual things I want to pursue.
mhm,
Like, so one example on my Instagram, if you guys follow me, is I posted a blog not too long ago. Actually, the day before election day. And usually, I really, I'll be honest, I don't consider myself a blogger or like a good writer. I just had some thoughts I wanted to share, and I'm always so nervous of sharing my thoughts because someone might shoot me down or like make me imposter syndrome, right? Make me
mhm,
like call me out on some bullshit.
mhm,
But in the end, it's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna post it.
mhm.
And then like I just posted it on some random blog site, and the amount of people that responded and like kind of showed love was phenomenal.
Really?
And like yeah, and it was cool, right? And I had
Mhm,
some very different thoughts than most people, right?
mhm,
And the fact that people were like, "Oh, that was dope, man! Like that was cool," and they liked it, and they, my sister read it and she shared it with some of her friends. Like
mhm,
that's dope. But
mhm.
but I was able to share my thoughts and something I thought I never could have just because I did it.
Right. Can I ask you, like, what made you come up with that idea? Like,
Sharing the blog,
yeah, well, even, like, writing a blog, I don't know anything about that. Like, what is it
I don't either. I
like,
just
how did you do it? Did you just go
well,
what did you do?
man,
Talk.
I literally just looked up blog sites like places to post, and I found some that were free, and
Mhm.
it was easy. You open an account, it's free, and then I just took the link and posted it on my Instagram. And the blog, I always write
So
journals
were
on
all
different
of your, like,
topics.
replies and stuff, are they then on the blog, or are they then through Instagram from the
Some of them were.
posting?
Some people said they tried to reply on the blog that didn't pop up.
Oh, okay.
I think a couple people, and then
Most of them
other
from
people would
Instagram.
DM me. Yeah,
Yeah.
other people DM me.
Mhm.
Some people sent me like a text message.
Oh, okay.
My sister, I just talked to her about it.
Yeah.
And it was cool, and it wasn't a lot. It wasn't like 1,000 people, but it was like 6 or 7, a handful.
Yeah, that's
But just
dope.
that,
That's dope.
right? Just that, it's dope. Like people were willing to take the time and read this this thing I
I feel
thought of.
like that's a lot like this though. Like not saying
It
that
is.
you know what I'm saying? Like we're in this conversation, we're kind of opening up our minds and I'm not disappointed in us, but we haven't like posted or promoted this yet, but like eventually we will. And
Yeah, man.
it's a vulnerability because this is inside our minds. This is what we think about, this is us like truthfully. And
And yeah,
so like I commend you for that, bro. That's dope. That's dope. And you learn a lot. I feel like that's when you learn the most, when you're the
the
most
most.
vulnerable.
Literally, and I think that's the thing that's been holding me back the most. I've
Hmm.
been so scared of trying to chase perfection that I've never really opened myself up to opportunities that I
Right.
could have taken,
Yeah.
right? Like I said before, I had so many opportunities I could have taken on doing this and doing that, but because I was so nervous of like, oh, well, I don't know about this, I don't know about that,
Right.
like I just didn't take it, and
Hmm.
it cost me in the end. And it goes in a bunch of different things. I've had ideas when I was a kid that I wanted to pursue these things that I studied, and I was so nervous to say to anybody, but then all of a sudden some cuckoo guy posted on the internet and people agree with it.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, I thought of that when I was 7.
Right.
Like, so
Yeah. No, that's a dope concept, and I feel like it's real. It's real. It's like I don't know something about being vulnerable. It makes you learn a lot because then I feel like people can tell.
And I think we don't do that enough as a society.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we are so caught up. And this is one of my rants.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're so caught up in living lifestyles, trying to impress other people.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you say you don't, right? Like if your Instagram feed is on point, you're not doing that because you're an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're doing that because you're
well, bro, like the suite that we stayed in, right? This kind of made me feel. I don't know how it made me feel. I'm gonna talk through it. So like we went to like this dope suite, right? And my girlfriend was like, or my fiance now, she was like, wow, I wish I could live like this every day. And I was like, why can't we? You know that like why can't I don't understand why we can't. And it's just because I haven't gotten there yet.
yeah,
Not on,
that's
you know, like I didn't say anything to her, but in my head I was like, we will, like we will, like I promise you, we will. Because it doesn't, it's really not that crazy. Like,
I think damn, bro, you just really hit a spot there too. I think what you just said is really what my problem is, right? The
mhm,
why can't I? And that's my and I've said this before.
mhm,
It's like my biggest conflict on like why can't I get myself to do the things I want to do?
mhm,
Like this kid, right? We were just talking about earlier in Grant Steffen's podcast,
yeah,
Baya Haza. Dude's 19, making hundreds of $1,000s a month
mhm,
because he just did what he wanted to do,
yeah,
right? And I'm like, damn, like it's not that hard, but
yeah,
why can't I just do that, right? Or why can't I? Why is his time seemingly more valuable than my time?
yeah.
And it's like that question of why, and it's understanding because we just haven't done
Yeah,
it.
but
We just
going
haven't
back
gotten
to
there.
like what you just said, like dude making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, right? If he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, why can't I? Like he could spend $300 a day
And be fine.
and be fine. So it's like we can and we will. That's my mindset right now. And like I literally flew back today, so I haven't gotten like to work or anything, or you know, like a game plan. But I really feel good about where I'm at mentally because, you know, just being humbled and then being motivated on some, you know, becoming a man, personal stuff. I feel like I can conquer the world right now. Real talk.
Fuck with it. Fuck
Real
with it.
talk. Like I don't know. But you know, maybe a few years. So who knows?
I mean, as long as we do it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like for like it's I don't even know how to explain it. I just lost my words there. For me, like I have a time limit.
Mhm.
I want to do certain things at a certain time because I have family members that aren't going to be here forever,
Yeah, we've
right?
gone over this. We know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But as long as I do it, right?
Yeah.
Like I told myself before, like I'm not gonna miss holidays with my family anymore. And this holiday season, I'm not. Like
Mhm.
I'm going home for about a week, 2 weeks for Thanksgiving. I come back for a couple weeks, and then I'm going back again for a couple weeks, right?
Okay.
Like just doing it, making
Mhm.
it happen, and that's made me happy because I've done it.
Mhm.
Like this Christmas, like I'm gonna be straight up. My mom, no one probably watches this podcast, but I'm gonna take $1,500 out of my bank account, put it in an envelope, and give it to my mom so she can open up her practice,
Mhm.
right? Because that's all she needs, and maybe more if we discover more,
Okay,
right? And
what's your
just
mom
doing it.
doing? Like, what's her practice?
She's a tax professional,
Oh,
right?
okay.
But the thing that pisses me off is she's a very well educated lady, has a bachelor's in accounting, has a master's in, she has a MBA,
Mhm.
and she gets paid $15 an hour at the job she's at,
Mm.
right? Area my family's dirty laundry, whatever. But
Mhm.
like I know she could be making more.
Mhm.
Like I know, like as I see people that are less educated, not as smart as her, and not as likable as she is, making making crap ton more money in the same field.
Yeah.
And all it took for them was that they started their practice.
Mm.
So for her, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna pay for her to get her corporation set up. We're gonna pay for the materials she needs, and she's gonna do it.
That's what's
And
up.
it for me, she's trying to play it safe and get another job, and I'm like, no, it's
Yeah.
fuck that. Like we're gonna start this, and even if it comes out of my pocket, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I told myself I was gonna do that this year, and just making it happen, man.
Yeah, I feel like kinda like how I was telling you how that they made me feel like it as a man type stuff. I feel like that's kind of that feeling that you're about to get as well when you see that come to fruition. But man, we gotta make it work. Wow,
You
what
do,
was this,
man.
episode 10? It's been about 10 weeks.
Hey, there. I just watched fucking funny shit. I was just watching that podcast earlier, and they said that most podcasts don't make it past episode 10.
Swear. But
Yeah,
we came back. They thought we was down. They thought we were gonna miss episode 10 because I was sick.
y'all thought I was finished. I don't even know the lyrics, but
No, for real. We came back. We came back. Y'all thought we were finished. We about to get that Aston Martin next. So no, let's talk about so it's been 10 weeks. What were like our do we have initial goals? I know we had like talked about some like short term, like year like goals, but like what have you accomplished in these 10 weeks, bro?
man, I still got my job.
Yeah. But like 10,
Not honest.
10 weeks ago, me and you were talking like you had like some side business ideas. Uh like what has come through the cracks now? That's what I'm curious about. Cause like we talk a lot, but um I don't feel like we talked about that in a minute. Like for as far as like where you're at with that.
So for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm I've silenced a lot of things in my head. I
Mm-hmm.
think that was the first step of the battle.
Okay.
Like those insecurities and
Mm-hmm.
those second guessings, and I've like shut it up.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. So being okay with sharing my ideas,
Mm-hmm.
understanding I really don't want to impress anybody. I don't care for it.
Right.
Right. As long as my family loves me, as long as my girlfriend loves me, and that works out, that's great.
Right.
That's all I care about. Right. And as
Mm-hmm.
long as I feel like I'm accomplishing something.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward, I've already started the AAU stuff back up.
Okay.
It's picked up in income. It's picked up in traffic, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm busy every day, pretty much every week.
Mm-hmm.
That shows I'm doing something there.
Yeah.
I've already broken the I had on my dream board, I had an income that I wanted to make by next year.
Mm-hmm.
In 2 months since I've made this dream board, I'm $2,000 short.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm already gonna break that, and I know I will.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm doing well in my job. I understand the space. I can do well as long as I just get the culture right.
Mm-hmm.
And then moving forward, I'll have the money I need to start the next steps, which is investing in my family.
Okay.
First my mom, then my sister. Then it's gonna be investing in myself, which is reading books, materials, resources, eventually properties. I'll eventually one property for myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just calming myself down, calming my anxieties,
Mm-hmm.
and thinking clearly of what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm starting to get that.
Dope.
And I know I can do it. I just have to do it.
Yeah.
Right. I want to explore different paths. I know I can do it. I'm more than capable. If all these dudes that I know are less educated than me and not even education doesn't matter sometimes, right?
At all.
I know they're less capable than me,
Mm-hmm.
then I can do it too.
Right.
And that's not talking down on them. I just have confidence in myself and my abilities
Talk your shit, man. Fuck that.
to do that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. And I think this helped because I'm talking. It helps to hear these things out loud,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it helps to hear you listen to the things I'm saying and be like, yo, dog, I was thinking the same thing because I know I'm not alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So I'm not a fucking lunatic here.
Right.
How about you, man?
Man. So I feel like me and you, like, about this project that I've worked on for like about a year now. So I had like been doing a lot of work with that still, built like this giant database. I feel like it's time, like I'm really about to just start interviewing people. So like my plan is I want to interview people and I want to start an online community where I share this information. So like I'm about to interview, get information, grow some type of following. I just want to be known for something, because they're like that's truly like what I enjoy. Like I enjoy the work that I'm doing with that, and I like I want to make a difference in people's lives, type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what I'm going to start doing. Like, because I was just spending hours and hours and hours, like literally on the computer entering data into a database, or into an Excel spreadsheet. Database just sounds cooler.
Sounds more official.
Right. But yeah, so like that's that like on my passion project. Like I'm still going. I've been going for a year. Like, like I've obviously been on and off, but like I'm not giving up on this. Working my job, trying to be the best I can be there as well. I have some certifications that I have, like tests I have to have coming up. So it's like
for work or just
For
on your own?
it was for my career development, and like sometimes I feel less motivated for that, so I kind of it's a mental battle with that as well. But
Mhm.
yeah, so I have that coming up. But also like I moved back to Phoenix in February. I did put an offer in on our first home. That was a learning experience. But like if the offer doesn't go through, I really won't be surprised because I didn't do it to I didn't put the offer in to win the
To win.
house. I did it for my best scenario, you know. So like it wouldn't surprise me if we don't get it. But the thing is, it was really just like a learning experience for me, but it also taught me like, okay, this is how the game goes. And so now I know how to like play my chips in the future as far as my preparation for acquiring a property. Like I may still go back and rent in come February, right? And so I do got like stuff like that coming up. But yeah, it was just I learned a lot this past week, and I just did it. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm thinking back now, like it's only been a few days, and like I'm like, you didn't know this last week, you know. And
Yeah,
so
that's the fucking best feeling.
yeah, so um, there's a lot in motion right now, but we got Christmas coming up. Uh, yeah, I mean it's a learning process.
You're gonna win that house. Watch, I'm gonna call it.
If we do, then I'm gonna be like, oh shit, I don't know where the money's gonna come from. No, but hey, it's in God's hands.
Hey, that money's gonna come. It's just gonna pop up.
No, really, I'm really not worried about anything. I feel like this is like I told you, the kind of guy that I look up to in the real estate world. He told me like I didn't save a dime when I started. And so it's
Gotta
like
do it.
sometimes it just takes you having your back up against the wall for you to figure out how to make things work. And I kind of just put myself in that predicament. So I'm excited. Like if it goes through, I'll be super happy. But if not, I learned a lot, and I'm coming around for round two once a couple months get my bread stacked. So uh, dope things coming around, man. Um, hopefully my hope is that like I want to get a group of guys together who all have like, we're young, so obviously we don't have like tens of thousands of dollars each, right? At least at this point, but like I want to get like a group of young people together, each with like $5,000 to $10,000, and invest and put something together. I feel like that would be a super dope accomplishment. So that's something I actually want to do in 2021 because
Dope.
this just gave me so much confidence as far as it's not as difficult as I thought it was.
It's not, man. It just everyone makes it seem so difficult
Hmm.
for a reason,
Yeah.
and I really feel like it's just to keep us scared. Like, oh, I can't do that. I
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah. So, I mean,
So
we can accomplish every goal. I really believe in you and myself, man. I really do.
yeah, man. I have no doubt about it. There's a reason why I feel like you and I connect so well.
Hmm.
Like, it's funny, and it's like no bullshit. Like, we known each other for 5 years now.
Hmm.
We really only hung out in person for a few months because we've been in our own spaces.
Yeah.
But you're probably one of the people I'm closest to. I consider you like one of my best friends,
Yeah,
just
for sure.
because
Definitely.
I can relate to you about whatever. You can hit me up, I can hit you up, and we just talk about things we've been going through.
Yeah.
It's a deeper, I guess, relationship than I have with most people, and
Hmm.
it's one of the best feelings. And I know, like in a few years, we're gonna be sitting looking back at like, bro, remember when we were tripping because
Right.
we were broke and
Yeah.
your car broke down and my car broke down and
Yeah. And for anybody who's watching this, like this is the reason we're doing that. Like this is documentation of like it's not pretty,
nah, man.
like there's dark thoughts all the way along. But we know now, like there's no doubt in either of our minds that in a few years, or maybe in more than a few years, we're gonna look back and be like, oh, you remember when we thought we were, like we thought it was
I
hard. We
thought we
thought
were balling.
exactly.
Now I'm gonna just tell a story right now. Like 3 years ago, this dude came and visited me here in Houston, and he had a little internship and thought he was balling. And the first thing this dude bought was some Medusa. No, what was it? Some Versace sunglasses.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, no.
I was just thinking about that the other day,
Chill
bro.
out,
How we thought we were balling.
Hey, I had them.
And that shit is so funny.
I bought a pair of $200 sunglasses, and I was like, "Dang, I'm that man."
I made it.
And I was, I forgot who I was talking to, but I think it might have been my mom or my fiance. But I was like, "Yeah, I'm making more money, way more money than I've ever made, right? Way more." But I definitely spend, like, not even on like blowing money, but like just my my necessities. I spent like a $200 purchase is
Nothing.
It is pocket.
That's groceries. That's like a week of groceries.
Literally. And so it's like, for me, I thought I was so cold back then with those $200 glasses. But like, hey, we all grow into ourselves.
That could be a whole nother podcast itself. All the times I thought I was balling.
Yeah, man. But I'm grateful for all that. I'm grateful for the journey. Yeah, man. I think it was good. We got a lot off our chest. I feel a lot better.
I feel better. My head's less tight, man.
Right?
Like I feel good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's think about this. This is episode. I think it might be 9. I'm not sure if it's 10, but regardless.
Hold on, let me pull it up. Just a second. Sorry, guys. It is definitely 10. It's 10.
All right, it's 10.
Yeah.
So episode 10.
Episode 10.
Let's think about where we want to be episode 20.
Oh, I like this. I like this.
With the podcast. Well, personally, professionally.
Mm-hmm.
So let's make that distinction.
10 weeks. 10 weeks puts us in January, just so you know. Go.
So where do you want to be?
Personally,
professionally, and with the podcast.
Oh, with the podcast. Okay. Let's say, okay. So I'm gonna start with the podcast. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I feel like once we got that border up and we got the background going now, hey, the sky is the limit.
We're looking like we crippin', dog. It's all blue.
It looks good though. It does.
It does.
But with the podcast episode 20, I think podcast episode 20, I think we should have 10 social media posts by then. I think we should have let's say what's episode 20, let's say at least 4 guests on the show, right? And let's say 20 followers for episode 20.
Okay.
So I'm gonna write that down. Actually, what I say, I said 10 social media posts, yep.
4 guests, and at least 20 followers.
And 20 followers. I bet. Okay, so then personally, in my personal life, okay, so either let's see, that was January. It's my first Christmas with my daughter.
Ooh,
yeah,
it's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, no, I really can't. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be looking to get a car. So honestly, I'm really not putting too much pressure on my personal life right now.
Beamer, Benz, or Bentley.
I'd honestly just say, like, I'd hope to have been started my online community and just kind of getting out there with those interviews by then.
Okay.
Also, I'll be studying for that exam, so that's where I'll be at in my personal life. And professionally, bro, I'll almost be, what's that, January? I'll be a month away from going back to Phoenix. Yeah, man, I'm just sticking to the grind. That's all. I can't put too much pressure on myself professionally, because it's a pretty steep learning curve, and I'm taking it with each day.
Yeah,
I really don't, especially like just because it's like a career,
There's not too many big jumps you can do.
Yeah, there isn't like a quarterly jump. It's more like a 2-year jump.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's just steady grind. Don't get fired.
That's real, bro. I don't. That's so real.
Yeah. So what's yours, man? What's yours? Podcast, professional, personal.
All right. So with the podcast, I
Mhm.
definitely agree. Definitely at least, I want to say 10, maybe 8 to 10 posts on
Okay.
social media, and
Okay.
just us putting it on social media because I don't think either one of us has talked. I think my girlfriend's posted about this more than we have combined.
I have a total of 0 posts on this.
0 on my end too. Yeah, so
But
probably definitely getting that started and being comfortable with sharing it too, because I
yeah,
know we can get some hate. Like
yeah,
someone's gonna be hating on us
exactly.
regardless,
Yeah.
and just again, just not caring.
Mhm.
Um, hopefully have like 20 followers, 20 subscribers, just like a small consistent group that watches us, right? That's
Yeah.
how it all starts.
Yeah.
And I just wanna I just wanna keep being creative with this. I
Yeah.
don't want it to ever feel stale. Like even if it's just conversations like this, like I want to have them. I
Yeah.
don't care.
It
If
did.
people like them, they like them. If they don't, they
It's
don't.
good for the mind, bro. I definitely
It
feel it.
really
Yeah.
is. It's a good way to de-stress, right? Professionally, I'm in the same situation, right? It's a steep learning curve. I just have a really bad anxiety of like I need to perform because I
Yeah.
want to do well.
Maybe you just should have patience with yourself. Maybe that should be your goal, just to be patient. Like not
Professionally,
have
yes.
that feeling of like, oh, you know.
Yeah, I definitely got to be patient and understand that I'm not a genius, right?
Mhm.
I'm not going to figure everything out in a day.
Mhm.
Um, and to be okay that the work is hard and that I might not get it right away, and that this might be something I'm going to have to take some time to learn and climb the ladder.
Mhm.
And again, just to not be too in a hurry to grow in that ladder, because who knows, I might get to a spot where I actually don't want to be.
Right.
Just seems nice for now.
Yeah.
Personally, and that's in terms of my personal ventures and
Mhm.
myself, I definitely want to have invested in my family by that point. That'd be past Christmas.
Yeah.
Help them start making those steps to show them that it could be done and that we don't have to settle for less, no matter what anyone says. And kind of just start venturing out into things I want to venture in and have that confidence.
Mhm.
So be willing to post this because I'm confident in what I'm saying. Be willing to post a blog post every now and then if I want to share something I have on my chest.
Mhm.
And just be creative, man. Just keep reading, keep exploring, keep learning. That's something I always want to do in my life is just learn.
Mhm.
It's the coolest thing when you start putting together pieces that you wouldn't even know were there.
Yeah. I
So
agree.
just doing that. So that's where I'll be.
And that was my daughter. I don't know if you heard her. She sometimes sounds like a dog.
I thought you just farted or something.
No, it was her.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah,
good.
man. I appreciate the conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was a week where we just had to get some stuff off our chest because life was getting to us. I know y'all have been there before. I thank y'all for watching. We're gonna get y'all next week without a doubt.
For sure.
All right, man. Peace.
All
Appreciate
right,
you.
man. Have a good night.
Yeah.
For sure. Peace.